morning, everybody. I had a really busy few weeks, and I had done a few videos and meant to, go through them, make a blog post to match and post them like I do. I don't do a lot of editing, but the videos were there, the blog posts I hadn't quite gotten done, but I was working on them, and then I deleted the videos. Deleted them. So it was one of those things where when you realize you delete them, you're like, what am I gonna do? I have some of the content ready. I just gotta finish it. And I was so busy that I couldn't finish it. So while I'm working on finishing those, because some of these videos take a lot of time. They take some prep, especially the tutorial ones. So I'm gonna finish prepping those and I'll get them to you. But in the meantime, I wanted to answer a few questions about this sweater right here. So this is the sweater that was hanging in my booth at the Fiber Festival of New England. I also wore it around Rhinebeck. If you saw it, it's also been posted on Instagram and all over the place because I love this sweater. So I wanted to answer a few questions on how it's made. I'm going to write a blog post as soon as I'm done here, so pop on down and check that out for just some information because, that way you don't have to listen to this and write notes. This sweater, the pattern is the less is more pattern, and I made a few modifications to it. So we've talked about the less is more pattern here on the YouTube channel before, and it's usually using hand spun and how to blend the colors up so they sort of blend. Clearly this isn't blending. These are just really taking all of the colors and just using them as stripes because you can do that. So I used a commercially spun yarn, and it's just Almost Solid series from Spunky Eclectic, and I'll tell you the colors in a little bit. But I wanted to tell you more about the sweater and the modifications that I made. I started with a one size smaller at the top because I wanted it to be a little bit closer in on my neck. It's getting a little stretched out being on this girl here. And then, did a little bit longer increases. You can see that this is a little bit longer than maybe some of the other ones. Like if you look in the pattern pictures, because that's me. So I didn't do any waist shaping. I left it straight because I just wanted it to hang there and be longer. And you can tell that it's longer because the first modification is that it uses 5 colors instead of 4. So there's 5 colors in here. And for the top section, I used the same number of inches that you're supposed to use in the pattern. And for the rest of these, I used less. I used 2.5 inches instead. So I sort of, tried to figure out how long I needed it-ish, and then decrease the amount of inches that I had in the solid sections. So the next modification, I used the garter band down here, and that's because of the sleeve. Originally, I had done a 2x2 ribbing, and then I changed my mind of what I wanted for the sleeve, and so I ripped all that out and changed it to a garter band. The sleeve has a garter band too, because I didn't want the sleeve to have ribbing because, I don't know if you could tell when I held it up, it kind of looks like a bell sleeve because it's been stretched out, but it's not. I did the first 3 decreases here for the arm and then stopped and then just knit it straight. So it's really just straight. But I didn't want to bring it in and have ribbing here. I just wanted a garter band. So that's why I changed the hem to match it. So you can see kind of how that works. It's just a straight kind of nice big sleeve. That's it. That's the modifications. And this is the yarn that I used, and I used 5 skeins. That's all I used, but there's probably a little bit more of this left. This is what I used for the applied I-cord, There's a little bit more of this left than any of the other colors because it was only used in this section. Everything else got also used for the sleeve. And what does this come in? 275 yards. And I used almost all of it for the rest of these. So there's some yardage stuff in the less is more pattern, but if you're going to change things, like it uses more on the sleeves, especially down in this area because I didn't decrease. They're all straight. So if you're making modifications, well, there is less in here because there was less of the sections. So if you're going to make modifications, kind of know that there's going to be some yardage modifications made. But I will look up some of my sizing stuff when I post in my blog posts so that you can see all the sizing differences and kind of go by that to make some of your decisions of what kind of yarn that you want to use. I started another one of these using some big color blocks. If you're on my Instagram, then you know what I'm doing. I'm using worsted yarn for that though. And I'll probably talk about that one at some other point. So I think that's it. So for more information and some specifics on sizing, head on down to the blog post. If you want to make this and you want help choosing either colors or knowing about yardages from Spunky Eclectic, then give Spunky Eclectic a message and I will get back to you. But know that I'm traveling this weekend, so it might be a little bit slow for me to get back to you if it's this weekend. It's this weekend, the 15th through 16, 17, 18th, 15th through the 18th. I'm going to be traveling in New Jersey to teach down there, to teach dyeing. Whoop, whoop. Hey, Third Star Guild. So if you get a hold of me this weekend, I'm going to be a little bit busy, but after that, I will get back to you as fast as possible. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Bye.